What I'm going to do today is share with you how to action your practice plan. So I'm going to share some of the tools that I use in my own practice, but also what I think make great tools to have, or almost like a system or a strategy to effective practice. And one of those things is having some goals for your voice, making time for your voice, having somewhere where you can plan or track, whether that's like Google Calendar or a little vocal journal like my one. This one I've made for myself, which allows me to plan and jot down a ton of information about how my voice is feeling, what I'm working on. But last week, I also shared with you my practice plan template, and you can download that to have your own practice journal to work with, and the link will be in the description after the live is complete today. Plus, I'll put the link from last week's weekly live workshop, which actually takes you through the practice plan, and I talk you through the flow of an effective practice plan. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about is show you those tools and suggest a kind of a system or a strategy to getting the most out of your practice, because preparation is the first step, knowing what you're working towards, and then actually getting in the trenches with it, whether you're vocalizing, through scales for some kind of specific technical boost that you want for your voice, whether it's agility, or you might be working on breath management or stamina, or there are so many elements that you can work on. And so I encourage you to just spotlight one at a time in your practice plan. And I will share my screen again today and show you that practice plan before we kick off. The other thing is review. And so once you've gone through your practice, it's a great idea to really think about how it went. How's your voice feeling after the practice? Is there anything that you could have done slightly differently for next time? For example, a slightly longer warm-up, or you maybe forgot to do your vocal warm down. So the whole process is planning, preparation, practicing, and then reviewing so that you can see what's working. And of course, having something to work towards is always good with a practice plan, and you can create your own performance opportunities via posting on YouTube, on any social page that you might want to engage with your potential audience or your existing audience, or you might actually have a gig coming up. That's what I'm working towards. So on the 30th of October, again, grateful that New Zealand are back at a level 1 stage for our pandemic response restrictions. So we're able to gather and have gigs. And so on the 30th of October, I'm working with the Symphony Show, which is at Spark Arena in Auckland. And then the next day, I fly down to Christchurch to do some backing vocals for the amazing LEB at Horncastle Arena. So it's a pretty good weekend of arena gigging. Anyway, because of that, I'm focusing and I'm working through my practice plan. I will be sharing some snippets of that. So make sure that you subscribe, and you'll be notified of when I pop those bonus videos up. Also, next Saturday, I'm hosting a masterclass to actually take you through from the beginning to the end an entire practice plan. Plus, I'm there to answer any questions that you might have. And I host this on a different platform. So I limit it to the first 50 registrants. You sign up, you'll be able to one-on-one with me and have a little Q&A, plus go through an actual practice plan. And it's a 90-minute workshop. So you can jump in, set the time aside next Saturday, that's 10:30 New Zealand Standard Time, but I will pop the link in the description box where you can register to get into that. All right, that's enough of me giving a little bit of a rundown of what's been happening the last couple of weeks. Remember to check out those other videos if you want a little bit more information on those elements. Okay. Oh, yes. The other thing I did this week is you will see on the Big Notes Get Votes YouTube channel that there is a how to find your vocal range video. And so I take you through the entire process from beginning to end on each vowel sound, playing the digital piano for you poorly, but enough for you to be able to run through and figure out what your highest note and what your lowest note is. Why that's important is going to become apparent in a second when I share some of the tools that we're working with. Knowing your vocal range is going to give you lots of information about your voice and how to navigate your voice, both from a troubleshooting perspective, but also finding that sweet spot that's really great for your for setting your songs, whether you're singing covers and making sure that it's in the right key to really spotlight and highlight your voice, the strongest areas of your voice. It also gives you the information of how you can strengthen any areas that you feel aren't as strong. And when you're writing music as well, knowing what your sweet spot or your kind of power range is good information so that you can make some really great, strong, intentional decisions about how you want to tell your stories using the different voice qualities that you have. Okay. I'm going to have a quick look at the chat. And I can see some comments coming through. So if you have any questions, please yell out and I will do my best to answer them. Let me quickly share my screen, and I'm really hoping that this is going to work. All right. So I'm just showing you this in my browser. This is that overview, and I went through this in depth last week, so you can watch back that video, but I just wanted to quickly take you through this. Use this as a sample practice plan, the time frame, how often I've mentioned in a previous video, so go and check that out. You've got here your vocal journaling, and that's about really being intentional about how you're going to spend your time in your practice, and then how your voice is feeling afterwards, and any notes about the practice. Then you're going to do a focus and relax. And so this, I'm going to show you, there is a video. Well, I'll put a link in the description. There's a video with me taking you through an entire singer stretches routine, which has had 10,000 views as of just a few days ago, which is amazing. I can't believe 10,000 well, I'm going to assume it's 10,000 people watching, but I think it's probably 4 of my students watching multiple times. So that can show you how to warm up your body. The next thing is then you're going to release tension with some Sirens. Now, same thing again. I'll pop a link in the description to this video so that you can follow along. But you might be able to see here that these little bits and bobs here are hyperlinked. So that will give you both the vocal journal, it'll give you both the singer stretches video, so you can download this, and I'll put that link in the description as well. There's the Siren link, and then this is what we're going to talk about specifically today: vocal warm-ups and technique spotlighting, specifically through vocalization. So let me come back. When you are doing your practice, what I recommend is getting an app for when you're doing your vocal warm-ups. Now, my next video next Tuesday on the blog is going to be taking you through a few of the apps that I've been reviewing over the last wee while. However, today I'm going to show you the one that I have been using for a gazillion years. Now, I'm going to try a couple of little things here as well. I have been using this for, I reckon, 10 years, a long time. This is the New Zealand App Store that you can see. You can get this for definitely the iPhone and yes, the iPad as well. I'm not sure about Google Chrome, about Google Play or Android, sorry. So I will share on Tuesday this review of some vocal warm-up apps that I've been looking at that are also compatible with Android. But basically what happens, and this is why I was saying it's really good to be able to know your vocal range, you can actually customize the range that you have. So in my app, I've got my vocal range is B2 to it's C#6. Actually, it's E6 now. I've been practicing, so it's getting a bit higher. But the current existing range I've popped in there is to C#6, and it will take you through whatever type of practice you want. You can label it yourself. You can assign your range based on the more traditional vocal registrations, which is like bass, baritone, tenor, alto, mezzo, and soprano. And you can see here that this app in New Zealand dollars is $7. I looked on the US site, it's $3.99 US. So it's a really affordable way of doing it, and I highly recommend it. Okay, let me come back. After that excitement, goodness gracious, how great is that? So let me show you what it actually looks like. And hopefully the lighting is okay in here and you can hear the audio. But I've set it up in my particular vocal registration, and this is a workout that I have preset. They have everything in it, from like every single scale you can imagine. And there's also another app made, I think, by another similar company called Singer's Friend, which has even more scales and vocalization that you can use. Then the next step is a vocal warm-up. You're warming your voice up, just as it sounds. And so what this can be, in my humble opinion, and from the research that I've been exposed to, the best way to warm up your voice before you go on stage is to sing the songs that you're about to perform. The problem is we often leave our best voice in the rehearsal or the green room, and to avoid doing that, sing through the songs that you are about to perform at 50%. Now, you can do this in a way that is with no projection and no articulation. And it's basically dulling the consonants. So if I give you an example on happy birthday, it looks like this. It's normal happy birthday would be happy birthday to you, mouth is moving, happy birthday to you, there's singing, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. So if I'm to dull the consonants, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my tongue, the sides of my tongue, and I'm going to let them come up and almost make like an NG. Like as in sing. And I'm going to sing through like that. Same pitch, mostly same song. My mouth is still moving, but I'm not over articulating and I'm not projecting. So my voice and my larynx is still moving into the position of the particular pitches that I'm about to sing, but I'm at 50%. So you would, and that is a tool from the still voice technique method called myroning. So it's essentially a siren, but you're mouthing the words. And I really like that. It feels a bit odd. It takes a hot second to kind of get used to doing, but it's such a helpful tool. If you want to use an app like this to do a vocal warm-up, which is also excellent ear training as well, nothing wrong with running scales, but I would put that almost more like a vocal workout. So think about going to the gym. You do 15 minutes or whatever on the treadmill to kind of warm your body up, and then you go and you might do a circuit or high intensity interval training of specific exercises that isolate particular movements or muscles in your body. That's how I look at the vocal workout. So for a vocal warm-up, if I was practicing a song, or my technical element of the day would be to practice songs, I would myron through the songs as my vocal warm-up. If I have a bit more time, so some of this is time dependent as well, I would do a traditional vocal warm-up just to get my ear, especially after lockdown and not having had a lot of practice. I am doing a vocal warm-up utilizing scales, and that's, ear training and agility training and kind of cracking the whip on myself. And then I will go and do a myron as a vocal warm-up for the specific song I'm about to practice. And then I will go ahead and sing that song in full voice after I've spotlighted whatever polishing I needed to do, whether it was breath, working out where to breathe in the song, working out what voice qualities to use to tell the story. And that, if you need help with that, I have a 21-day song study challenge. And that process, the song study, is a deep dive into figuring out all of those elements about learning and performing, learning, polishing, and performing a song really effectively. So that's a whole separate, it's another kettle of fish. So if you're going to use your vocal warm-up, you use an app for your vocal warm-up, I'm going to play you this, and this is sirening fifths. Anything you do, like with the myron, do it at 50% if you're using vocalizations as a warm-up. Let's see. So you might like to do a lip trill, or a siren sound, an NG, or a hum. So I'll give you all three. That last one was meant to be a siren. The siren and the hum are very similar, except the focus with the hum is a little bit more forward on the lips. So it's very gentle. If you were utilizing it, once your voice is warmed up, and say you wanted to go through these vocalizations as a workout, you could choose a particular voice quality. So let's say for me, I need to strengthen my head voice a little bit. I can belt, I can sing in chest voice or speech quality, but my cry quality or my head voice is a little weak. So I might continue to keep it quite light and be like, as opposed to belting it out. That is what I need to do. But you will have figured out after your vocal range assessment, after figuring out what your goals are for your voice, you will have figured out what makes sense for you to work out as part of your vocal workout. Okay, so then the last tool, so we've got practice plan or journal, practice journal. You've got a vocal workout app. Of course, knowing what you want to focus on comes as part of the vocal journal and the practice plan. Then you need to video your practice and you need to watch it back. So I know this is really hard. A lot of my clients don't love this, but we use a tool called Musicopoulos to communicate with each other, which is like a video walkie-talkie app. And so I will say to them, okay, you're doing your sirens, send me a run through of your sirens every day or 3 times a week, whatever they've got time for, and they will video themselves. So it's good for me because I can check in and make sure that they're applying their techniques correctly as they move forward in between our vocal coaching sessions. But then it also gives them, and I encourage them to watch the video back. And the goal is to try to keep the filming at eye level so that we can see sort of torso up. Like I do my practices sitting down. I'm a little bit lazy, I have to be honest, but I also do stand up as well at times. And either way, when you have something like that, a tool like that, a phone, or you can just use blue tack and stick it up somewhere on the wall or on the screen where there's some natural light, make sure it's front on. And if you ever do a song study with me or a video performance review, a tool where you video yourself, you send the video to me and I give you feedback and coaching. Those are the tips that I would give you for that as well. So hopefully you found that a little bit helpful today. Quick review, go back and watch the last 2 weeks' videos. That's going to show you how to create a practice plan, how to personalize your practice plan. Today I've shown you some tools to action your practice plan. Keep an eye on the blog, and yes, give this video a like if you enjoyed the information today. Make sure that you do subscribe because I am going to be releasing some videos in the coming weeks, but you'll also be the first to know when I pop up that vocal workout and vocal warm-up app review, which will be coming out on Tuesday. And yeah, and then we can just keep hanging out. Oh, last but not least, remember, do a vocal warm down. And you can do that. Usually the apps don't necessarily have that, but you can just do that by sliding, like what we just did then, sirening. You can just slide down from the top to the bottom to return your voice to your speaking zone. So, and I'm doing that just by very gently with my tongue up against the side molars, like in that NG again, that siren position. And just letting it sob right down. And that's actually quite a nice therapeutic tool to use if you've been talking a lot throughout the day after talking for the last 30 minutes. But I do hope you found it helpful. Like I said, give it a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time live. But remember, there might be some sneaky bonus videos, and if you want to see me next Saturday, sign up for the masterclass.